Hey everybody, I'm back again and I wanted to give you our top 5 things you should know about the electrical section of your home inspector's report. We have customers emailing us their home inspector reports all the time asking us questions about the electrical section. We're seeing the same issues again and again and again, and it seems like most customers aren't educated as to what the problem is, how to fix it, and is it a simple or expensive fix. So, without further ado, here's our top 5. First, double tapped circuit breakers. This is a double tap circuit breaker right here. 2 wires connected to the terminal of one circuit breaker. Circuit breaker terminals are rated to only have 1 wire connected to them, not 2 or more, so it is a code violation. How do you fix it? Very simple. You have 2 options. You either add an additional circuit breaker and put each wire on its own circuit breaker, or you take both wires off the circuit breaker, splice them onto a single wire, and put that 1 wire on the circuit breaker. Both are very simple, inexpensive, easy fixes. Number 2, no GFIs in your kitchens and bathrooms. Most kitchens have existing outlets, and if that's the case, all you need to do is replace those outlets with GFIs. Replacing outlets with GFIs is very easy. Bathrooms, the bathroom may have an existing outlet that isn't GFI protected. If that's the case, all you need to do is replace that outlet with a GFI. Easy. Now, if the bathroom has no outlet and now you're talking about adding a GFI in there, that means running new wire. That could be simple or it could be complicated. It's going to depend on where the bathroom is in relation to the electrical panel. If the bathroom's on the first floor and there's unfinished basement below it, and the electrical panel's down there in the basement, it's pretty simple to run the new wiring across the unfinished basement up the wall to the GFI location. Now, if the bathroom is on the second floor of a large house with a finished third floor above it, finished first floor below it, and the electrical panel's in the complete opposite corner of the house, then okay, that's probably going to be pretty time consuming to do that job. So you need to consult with an electrician to get a cost on how that's going to work and how that's going to look. Number 3, reverse polarity outlets. This is a really common one. Your home inspector took one of these plug testers, went around to all the outlets, plugged them in, and found some outlets that are reverse polarity. What does that mean? That means that at some point, somebody, and I hope not an electrician, most likely a homeowner or somebody's uncle, came along and was changing some outlets and got the hots and neutrals mixed up on the outlets. Essentially put them on backwards. So how do you fix it? Another easy, simple fix. You need to flip the wires back to where they should be. The black wire should be on the hot terminal and the white wire, which is the neutral, should be on the neutral terminal. Pretty simple. So it's an easy fix. Number 4, open ground outlets. Again, your home inspector would have taken one of these plug testers, plugged it in, and the plug tester came up as missing the ground. Open ground means there's no ground. Now, there's 2 reasons that the outlet could have no ground. First is the wiring there that's powering that outlet might be an older style of wire that has no ground, such as knob and tube wiring or ungrounded Romex wire. The second possibility is, again, I'm thinking not an electrician, but you never know. Somebody changed those outlets and didn't know what to do with the ground wire and simply left the ground wire in the box and didn't connect it to the ground terminal of the outlet. If that's the case, all you need to do is connect the ground wire to the ground terminal on the outlet and you'll have your ground back. In the case of the older wiring that doesn't have a ground, the only way to correct that is to actually run new wire to all those locations, and that could be pretty complicated depending on how many outlets there are and where they are in the house in relation to the panel. Finally, number 5, fuse panels. We're seeing these still in homes that are being sold all the time. It's amazing. Fuse panels were largely used up into the 60s. By the late 60s, early 70s, they were, for the most part, changed over to circuit breakers. So there's still a lot of these left. The biggest problem with fuse panels and why they're flagged for the most part is because the fuses could be unscrewed and a larger fuse be screwed into its place, allowing the wiring that, say, is only meant to carry 15 amps of power can now carry 20 or 30, and that can be a major problem. Now, replacing a fuse panel means you need to replace the entire panel. In most cases, the service is so old, especially if it was done in the 60s or before, that maybe the entire service meter socket, the whole thing needs to be redone. In that case, it's probably a good opportunity to go to a larger service as well. You could see our other video on that, on sizing a 100 versus a 200 service or more. So in most cases, if you're going to replace the fuse panel, the service probably needs to be dealt with, which is the outside part of the wiring coming into the house. And if you're going to do that, you might as well use it as an opportunity to go to a larger service and get a new circuit breaker panel. So there's our top 5. I hope that helps. And if you guys have any questions about anything else that you're finding on your home inspector reports, please drop us a note. We'd love to help you guys out. Thanks so much.